So there's always that one moment, right? You're in bed. Things are going good. And in your head, you're probably just thinking like, come on, I've got this. Or maybe, okay, why is she taking so long today? You know what I mean? You're super focused. You're really concentrating on what you're doing. But the crazy thing is, at that exact same time, what's going on inside her head is completely different. She's probably sitting there, well, lying there, thinking, why am I overthinking this? Or, he's trying so hard, why can't I just relax? And then she starts wondering if you're getting frustrated with her. And here's the trap. Because the more you zone in and really concentrate on the physical side, the more she starts analyzing everything. And the more she analyzes, it just gets harder and harder for her to get out of her own head. Which, yeah, that's usually why it takes longer. But here's the piece that I think more men miss than you would think. You focus so much on the physical stuff, right? Technique, speed, rhythm, touch, all that. But a woman taking longer to climax isn't just a physical thing. It's wired into her nervous system. If you can just understand how her brain actually shifts from that thinking mode into feeling mode, like moving from analyzing to actually experiencing the sensation, literally everything changes. Because an orgasm isn't just physical stimulation, it's a whole neurological state. So, what I want to do in this video is kind of break down the neuroscience behind this. Like, how do you actually move a woman out of her head and into her body? And the secret is actually using words, specific words, said at the right time, and, this is key, in the exact right tone. Once you get how this works, it honestly changes the whole experience for both of you. I actually put together this whole, it's a 9-phrase framework. We're gonna go through 3 of the really powerful ones today, but if you want all 9, I made a complete guide. You can just grab it in the link down below. Okay, so let's actually get into the neuroscience here. Because honestly, once you see this, you really can't unsee it. So, deep inside the brain, right near the base, there is this tiny almond-shaped cluster of neurons called the amygdala. And that is basically your internal alarm system. It's the part of the brain that's always scanning for threats. But here's the thing, it literally does not know the difference between actual physical danger and emotional vulnerability. To her nervous system, the fear of being judged, or the pressure to perform, or even just worrying that she's taking too long, all of that registers exactly the same way a physical threat does. And when that amygdala fires, it triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol directly, biologically, inhibits arousal. Blood flow decreases, sensitivity drops. Her body essentially just goes into this low-grade survival mode. You cannot be in a stress response and a state of arousal at the exact same time. The nervous system literally won't do both. So what needs to happen is a shift. You have to move from that sympathetic activation, which is the stress state, into parasympathetic dominance. That's the rest and connect state. That's where the oxytocin releases. That is where her body actually, finally opens up to sensation. But here's the piece that really ties it all together. The prefrontal cortex, the analytical, evaluating part of the brain right behind your forehead, it stays overactive during stress. That's the part running all that internal dialogue, like, am I taking too long, or what's wrong with me? You know that loop. And you simply cannot think your way into an orgasm. You have to drop out of the thinking brain and into the body. Now, how does that shift actually happen? This is the part I find so fascinating. If you look at the research, specifically Dr. Stephen Porges' work on the polyvagal theory, it shows that auditory cues, specifically tone of voice, pacing, and vocal warmth, They are processed directly through the limbic system. That's the emotional center of the brain. And there are actually fMRI brain scan studies out of the University of Virginia, led by Dr. James Coan, that prove this. They found that a partner's presence and low, steady vocal reassurance physically downregulates the amygdala, meaning the right words said in the right way at the right moment can literally shift her nervous system from vigilance into safety. Words regulate nervous systems. That is not a metaphor. That is literally just how the brain works. So let's actually look at these phrases. The first one is incredibly simple. You just say, "I love the way you feel." You want to drop this in early, like while things are still building, definitely not at the peak. But the key here isn't just the words, it's the delivery. You need to say it slow and low, right near her ear or her neck. It should sound like it just slipped out, almost like you're saying it to yourself. Not performative, just quiet. Here's why this actually works. Sensory language, words that point directly to touch or to physical feeling, they completely bypass that prefrontal cortex. There's nothing for her analytical brain to latch onto. No question to answer, no evaluation to make. Instead, it activates somatosensory processing, the brain regions that map felt sensation in the body. You are literally redirecting her attention from that thought loop to what she is actually physically experiencing. And because it's framed around your pleasure, there is zero pressure on her. You aren't asking her to do anything. You're just telling her that what's already happening is enough. Then, when you feel things plateauing a bit, or if you sense she's drifting back into her head, that's when you shift to the second phrase. You just ask, calmly and warmly, "Tell me what you want." Or even just simply, "Show me." Don't make it a demand, it's an invitation. Keep steady eye contact if the moment allows for it. And then, and this is so important, just pause. Give her the space to actually respond. Why this works? Because it transfers agency. One of the biggest sources of cognitive load during intimacy for women is the silent management of their partner's experience. Worrying about being a burden, or trying to perform while also trying to feel. "Tell me what you want" cuts right through all of that. It gives her permission to just focus on herself. And neurologically, it activates dopaminergic anticipation circuits in the brain. Those are the reward pathways involved in desire, because you have just introduced choice and possibility. She is no longer passively trying to arrive somewhere. She's actively directing the experience. That shift from passivity to agency is literally one of the most consistent predictors of arousal escalation in clinical research. The third phrase is for those moments when her body tightens up. You know when she seems really close, but you feel that anxious tension rising, like she's bracing against the wave instead of just letting it come. That's when you say, "I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere." The tone here is everything. It needs to be incredibly grounded and steady, almost like you are anchoring her. Don't rush it. Hold completely still for a moment, look at her, and just let her feel that you aren't in a hurry. This is attachment neuroscience at its most fundamental. The phrase mirrors what researchers call a secure base response. When the brain perceives that a partner is present, stable, and not about to withdraw, it triggers oxytocin release and parasympathetic activation. Heart rate slows, muscles soften, the amygdala quiets down, and that state of deep physiological safety is the exact neurological environment where orgasm actually becomes possible. Not through effort, not through concentration, through surrender. And surrender requires safety. So if you take just one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Orgasm is not a performance outcome. It is a neurological state shift. It requires the nervous system to move from analysis into experience, from vigilance into trust. And one of the absolutely most powerful tools you have for creating that shift is your voice. The full 9-phrase framework, with all the delivery notes, the timing cues, and the neuroscience behind every single one, is in the free guide linked right down below. No gimmicks, just science you can actually use tonight. I'll see you in the next one.